Good morning. Good morning, Vietnam. I've always wanted to do that with a microphone. Should practice, really. Mark here. Hello. How are you? I've had a bit of a busy weekend. It was my son's 18th. I've still got a marquee in the garden, and there's beer. I'm finding beer bottles in toilets and strange places. We had a lot of kids here. And somebody called the guards, which was nice of them. We were a bit loud, though, to be honest. Who we got here? Hello, Susan Bowser. Where are you from? Sarvasaha. Hello, Sarvasaha. I can't say that. I'm rubbish with names. Melbourne. How's Melbourne today? Stu Gradwell. Hello, Stu. How's Wales? Who else we got? Tanya Chambers. Hello, Tanya. Thank you. You're my Monday morning magic. So are you. Addicted to Mark. Don't get addicted to Mark Atwood. That's not good. No gurus. I'm just a bloke in a kitchen. Well, it's not a kitchen anymore. It's kind of a, I don't know what you call this room. It's kind of a greenhouse today. It's very hot. Anyway, hello, Michelle. Michelle, it's going too quickly now. From New Jersey. How's it going? Christy Mack, Lancashire. I used to fly a lot over Lancashire. Ormskirk. Do you know that, Christy? Ormskirk? Southport, all that area? Yeah, I used to do aerobatics above Ormskirk years ago. Many, many years ago. Just putting the power on. Julie Hitchcliffe, Julian Craig here. Hey, how you doing, Julian Craig? How's it going? Yeah, I love that event. It's a shame we're not doing the London one. These events are actually really tiring. I mean, I did one last week with Huna Flash. I was exhausted. Mind you, I was up till 4 a.m, showing a load of people UFOs. In fact, last night was amazing. I knew that they were going to come, so I sat in the garden and saw about 10 of them. But then there was this really special one that came really slowly and was basically saying, film me, film me, film me. And then my camera was dead, so my friend got her camera out and filmed it. And what was really interesting, because it was a beautiful bright white light. And as it came across, we were filming it on the phone, but then it was disappearing on the phone, even though it was still there. So it was like going on and off. And I think it was just showing us how it could control how we see it and record it, and that it was its choice rather than our choice. And I will try to share that video on Telegram later. Watching from Ibiza. Charlene. I've been telling the kids that when all this is over, we're going to Ibiza, sorry. We're going to Ibiza for at least 2 months in a big villa. So hopefully I'll meet you there. Linda Decker from the Netherlands. I'm actually thinking of coming over to the Netherlands, to go to Amsterdam for the weekend. I love Amsterdam. I love the Netherlands. The Dutch farmers doing a great job. Hey? Charlene McGregor. I live on a very special island. Oh, Ibiza, yeah. We just had that chat. Tony Rambler from Gloucestershire. It's like the way the Americans pronounce counties is really funny. Do you know where Gloucestershire is? Mid-Michigan. Hello, Deb Walcott. Ross McSee, New South Wales. Hello. Tracy Ross, Canada. Love Canada. You know I love Canada. Don't like Trudeau, but I love Canada. Harms is here. Hello, Harms. Is it freezing in Melbourne? Oh, yeah. Well, no, I'm quite enjoying this. It's a bit weird in Ireland when it's this weather, but very enjoyable. And most of the kids are going to go to the lake today, swimming in the lake, which would be great. I had to do 6 hours driving yesterday to take my boys to the summer camp. That was that's fun. It's the first time I've left them alone ever, and kind of really missed them. I woke up this morning, the house was really quiet. But they'll come back men, which is what they need. It's going to be good for them. Lots of kayaking and mountain stuff. Oxfordshire, Lady Bird. Last time I was in Oxford, I took my nan and pap in a stretch limo out for dinner. I'm glad I did that because they're both gone now. So that was a nice treat for them. But Oxford's weird, isn't it? I mean, if you ever go to Oxford, just look up at all the gargoyles and the architecture. Very, very strange. No, it's not really strange when you understand about John Dee and people like that, but yeah. So this morning I've got a special guest on, but I just want to go through a few things. On my Telegram channel, most of you know, hopefully most of you know now, that the original Telegram channel due to the fact that my phone got hacked back in February, is about to go. So there's a link below this video to the new Telegram channel. So I've gone down from 17,000 subscribers to 8,000 subscribers. So there's still 9,000 people that can't be bothered coming back, which is okay. I don't mind, but I'm just letting you know, if you do want to, Telegram's the best place for uncensored stuff. And a few things of interest today. This so they're leaking something about a BBC photographer claims to have a jaw-dropping photo of Prince Andrew that would shatter the royal family if it went public. They're teasing us. Just publish the bloody picture. Let's get this over with. I mean, you know, and actually the imagination. God, that man is so horrible, isn't he? Prince Andrew. I never met Prince Andrew. I met Charles in 1980 in Cardiff at the National Sports Centre. That was very strange. I met Diana, and Diana grew up near me she lived near me. Althorpe is in Northamptonshire, which is where I was born. She was the thinnest person I ever saw. So thin, but beautiful, beautiful energy about Diana. And of course, most of you know I met Prince Philip. He gave me an award. And I was recounting that yesterday to somebody who was talking about the rugby. Because Ireland beat New Zealand. And I spent the afternoon with David Kirk, who was captain of the All Blacks in the 80s. Very nice man, actually. This thing's really upsetting me. But is it upsetting me, really? Because I know this is part of the movie, but it's just disgusting. And I said, this is the Irish Independent. Pornography to be studied in class under the Junior Cert revamp. The Junior Cert in Ireland is like CSEs in the UK. I don't know what the equivalent is in the States or anything, but it's just like, it's the 16-year-old, 17-year-old exam. Lessons on porn for teens. Look, this kind of headline should hopefully be waking some people up. And if you've got any kids in school in Ireland, go and get these papers, cut them out, and send letters of disgust to your headmaster. You got to, do something, or show it to your unawake friends and say, look, are you happy about this? Are you happy about this? I'm not happy about this. Yeah. What else is in here? Oh, this guy, look at him. What is going on here? Would you? I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm posting this thing about lithium batteries. I mean, I did a talk. I mentioned the other day about electric cars being woke, and a lot of people seem to like what I said. They're not just woke, they're dangerous, and they're not good for the environment. They want you dead. They want you to sit on a big battery. So, if you've got an electric car, get rid of it. Yeah, I put this morning about the Octagon. If you don't know about the Octagon group, then you need to go and do some research on that, because it's a bit like BlackRock, and there's things going on with all these big corporations. Evergrande is the company that is doing the trafficking on the boats, and I think they're in trouble at the moment, which is really good. And here we are live. So I'm just going to check the comments before I bring my guest on. And thanks all for being here, by the way, and thanks for the feedback to the interview with Ian on Friday. I really enjoy. I've done 2 shows with Ian Welch so far, and there's lots and lots of questions on Friday. That was good fun, and there's lots more questions. People are asking really good questions in the comments, so thank you for your comments. Questions about copper, addictions, all that kind of thing. They're all really interesting, so I'm going to get him back on the show, and we're going to go deeper into some of this stuff. Make sure you're doing your affirmations, but make sure you're asking for protection and for your highest good and all of that kind of thing. Affirmations are really powerful and important, and I think Ian's giving us some great stuff there. Also, Lisa, one of my lovely subscribers, has done a video on affirmations. Let me just see if I can find it. She's done a video version of the affirmations, and I think it's in my Telegram channel. I posted it the other day. Oh no, sorry, I just got to share this with you because this cracked me up. Did you see this? This is Mr. B's socks have the number 45 on. That is trolling of the highest level. A lot of chemtrails this weekend. I don't know if they're good or bad. Don't ask me. Oh yeah, I did do some drunken impressions there for your entertainment the other day. If I'm at a party and I'm having fun, I always do Michael Caine and Sean Connery impressions. I can't help myself, and I just thought I'd share those with you the other night. That was interesting. In the Irish Mirror, urgent solar storm alert, Sparks Island blackout fears as huge flare heads towards Earth. They're softening us up for this kind of information, which is good. Oh, this is good as well. Stockholm Syndrome. This is a group of people, including Sahora, whose name I'm never going to pronounce, but I think I'm going to meet her later. She was on my show the other week about the Angel book. So her and a group of people, there's 10 tracks on that were all made during the lockdown. Go and enjoy those and share them. Yeah, this is it. So let me just find this for you. Let's play these. Just going to take this off and give me a second. Come on, Mark. It's Monday morning. You can do it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll play these for you.
Morning affirmation. I choose for my 4 bodies to come into harmony with the golden age now. I now ask for my mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual bodies to come back into my body. I now ask for all 4 bodies to come into harmony with my God self frequency. Food affirmation. I now communicate with and ask the atoms in my food to please come into harmony with the golden age and with my universal God self frequency. I ask you to let go of anything harmful, any properties, programs, energies, or frequencies. Let them all go.
So, thank you for doing that, Lisa. The link is in the Telegram channel, guys. Go and get that. It saves because I get up in the morning. I'm like, oh, what did he say again? So just pop that video on, and you can find the link in Telegram. So that's cool. Thanks for all your comments here. One other thing, I did email Honey and Elisa and Julie Fairfax and Ian and asked them to do a roundtable, because there is all this conflicting information about ice walls and domes, and Ian says it's because people are getting information from different timelines, and I don't, I'm not an adversarial kind of person, but I would love to get them all on a live roundtable where you guys can ask questions as well, and they've agreed to do that. So I'm going to look out for that. If you're on my email list, which is in the description below, I will email you with plenty of time so that you can organize, and I'll try to get it in a time zone that fits the audience, because about 29% of you are in the States, 27% are in the UK, I think about 15% are in Australia. So I'll just try to get the best time for that kind of thing, and for them as well, because they're in different places. So I got an email from a viewer, I should say, and it really hit me because I'll just tell you what, I'll just bring her on. Hello, Jasmine.
Oh, hello.
How are you? You're in Perth, aren't you?
I'm in Perth, in Western Australia.
Yeah, it's great to meet you. You sent me an email. Do you want to explain what you sent me? And in fact, yeah, you start talking, and then I'll share the website when the right time comes up.
Look, I have created an oracle deck called the Rainbow Oracle, and it's about awakening a new reality. And I've been watching your show, Mark, and also JCK's show. And I've been wanting to sort of, I guess, spread the word, spread the message about unity, and then to see everyone starting to talk about it, because I've been doing this for many years. It's wonderful. And anyway, I sent you an email because I thought your viewers would be interested in what I've got to share. And also, I guess I saw a friend of mine on your show called Susan Ashley.
Oh,
And
yeah, I forgot you were friends with Susan.
yeah, and that to me was just a sign that it was right. So that's what I did. Sent you the email, and you replied pretty much straight away. So that was amazing.
Well, I'll do my best. I mean, the emails is that's actually the hardest part of this job, is because when you have to read an email, it takes ages, and then you have to respond to it. And if anybody does email me and I don't respond, I really apologize. I do my best. So I'm glad I got back to you.
Yeah.
But I think when I saw the cards, I sent you an email back because I got shivers as soon as I saw them. So I just thought they were amazing.
Maybe we can start with the video. I just sent you a link actually to the video if you want to share it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Give me a sec. How funny. I just got an email from the school just after I talked about the schools. Yeah. I bumped into the headmaster the other day. I was like, Anyway, that's another subject. Here we go. Beautiful. I love the digital soldier.
Yeah, that's him right here. You look like twins.
He's much better looking than I am. And that's what I'd like to look like in 5D. That'd be great if I come out like that. Might get some decent movie parts. So, I mean, yeah, you're an amazing artist.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been I'm an intuitive artist, so or what else you call me, a visionary artist, I suppose. But the deck started by me just. I got to a point where I was thinking it would be really nice to have my own deck because I'm a card reader. That's what I do. So I decided to create one. And as soon as I came up with the idea of creating a deck, not that I really knew what the theme was, what it was going to be about, as soon as I had the idea, I started to see the visions. And I remember waking up one day and seeing a 6 foot tall Atlantean standing at the foot of my bed.
Really?
And he had crystals protruding out of his forehead. And I thought, well, that's a little bit odd. And the moment I thought that, he replied with, well, I wear the vibrational crown of truth. And as I got to as I created them, the energy came in and I would just sort of know what they were about. And sort of that's what I did. But I started with sort of no story really. And they just appeared to me, the archetypes appeared to me one by one. And they explained that they were the fifth dimensional self, or the aspects of us. And they were here to anchor in that energy. And so that's how it was created. It took me probably a year, I suppose, because I was working full time. And they were first produced in actually 2014. And I self-published then. And then a publisher approached me, and they then sat on a publisher's desk for 2 years. And finally, when he went to publish them, the pandemic broke out. So, yeah, I ended up pulling out of the deal and decided to do it myself, because I knew the new energy was coming in. And I was already seeing new archetypes, so I knew I had to update the deck. And so here we are now. I launched it in the middle of a pandemic, which was probably pretty silly when I think about it. But it just there was lots of obstacles to get through to get here, for sure.
Well, that's been the good thing about the spiritual quarantine, because it's given people time to do things like this.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah.
You're a card reader?
Yeah.
Do you want to read
I've
some
had
cards?
a long love affair with tarot and oracle. And that was what I was doing first before I became an artist. Before that was actually a belly dancer for 20 years.
Hey.
No. Yeah. But I've always been creative, and my passion came out first in dance, actually, before it came out in art. But yeah, that's where I started. Yeah.
Cool. I was dancing on Saturday night for hours. Okay, I had Elvis on a loop. If you haven't seen the Elvis film, go and watch it. It's amazing. I know Tom Hanks is an evil son of a bitch, but I don't think that's him. But anyway, go and watch it. It's really good. It's really good if you like Elvis, which I do. So you said before the show that there was you worked with some beings, 12 beings.
Yeah. When I was a lot younger, I didn't really have a lot of self-confidence and self-worth. And I'd also, unfortunately, been interfered with when I was young. So I decided to do some inner child work. And I was doing the writing to the inner child. And I just wrote her a letter. And the Council of 12 showed up. Now, it didn't just sort of, I'm sort of cutting a long story short. They didn't just show up, but it's when the inner child became the loved child, after I did some work with her, that she started to open up more and more. And as that happened, the higher self came through, and then the Council of 12 came through. So yes, so when we started before we started the show, I did ask for the Council of Light to if they had any messages for us, and they did. And I asked for something that was more relevant to right now, and this is what they said. So I have to put my glasses on. Sorry.
That's right. I have to put mine on as well.
Yeah. I'm mostly in denial, but anyway. So it says, you are entering a time of great confusion, not only from your media, but from the many thought forms of truth shared over the airways. Never before has there been so much access to so many versions of reality. It's like reading too many books or watching too many movies in one day. You can't retain the information or process it. You're entering into many possibilities. We call it the time of divine integration. It's where multiple perceptions are filtered through the denser realms, piercing your reality like Swiss cheese, which leaves lots of holes, so to speak. in the story anyway, or missing pieces of information. It's like a cosmic jigsaw puzzle. All the pieces are there, but you're trying to find where they all fit. The thing about holes is they do let more light in, and light is information, but until you experience it or feel it, there is no wisdom behind it that concludes truth for the observer. So, what is real, what is not, what is good, what is bad? We remind you it's all frequency. Truth is a frequency match. It feels right because it matches your vibration and it resonates. But truth is not one thing. It's not a rock that you can stand on and claim to be yours. For the moment you do, you imprison yourself and the truth. Truth is many rocks, stepping stones to more awareness. It's infinite. There is no end to it. You cannot define it, but you can feel it. So let's define a major piece of the puzzle. We have fragmented ourselves from the highest point of existence into the denser realms of existence. You exist there and you exist here. Do you understand all these points of light are you? This is your pathway home. You cannot ascend through someone else's point of awareness. You can only ascend through your own. You are here to awaken each other, to join hands and join hearts, and walk together through changing landscapes so each of you can find your way home. No one that chooses to ascend will be left behind. There is not just one way, there are many ways. As your energy expands, you are becoming the greater version of you. As more light enters your consciousness, you are becoming the greater version of you. As more awareness becomes wisdom, you are becoming the greater version of you. What is the greater version of you? It's your next highest point of existence. You could call it your fifth dimensional self or your future self, or it's both. Sorry, I'm a bit dry.
That's all right.
Okay, so Jasmine asked us many years ago about activating her light body and how she should do that. We told her there is nothing complicated about washing one's socks. And our answer is still the same. As everyone's activation codes are in their DNA, as long as you keep your energy clean, and this includes releasing blocks, negative patterns, etc., activation will occur. So, light beings of Earth, we applaud you. We sing, praise, and celebrate your homecoming. You are at the next point of your highest expression, and we cannot wait for you to see your own magnificence. So that was their message.
Well, that resonates with me. And it's all down to us doing the work individually. And I think it's been really interesting this year with all the conflicting information coming out. And I think it's all just part of the plan. And because you have to sift through it. And then how you react to things is bringing up lots of people's shadow work that they still haven't finished. And I think it's amazing, actually. I'm not attached to any idea because, we are the creators, and it's but it's a really interesting process to observe.
Yeah. I remember, when I was doing the inner child work, I remember actually when I was very, very young, and I was born in the 60s, 1963, and back then we were given what we call Beatles haircuts, and bowl over the head.
My dad had one of them. It was like put a bowl on your head and just cut around it.
Yeah, well, we were kids, and I hated them. I hated it. It just wasn't me at all. And but I remember seeing this beautiful woman with very, very long hair, and she used to talk to me. And I always used to say, well, I want to be like her. I'm going to be like her one day. And I don't know who she was. I just thought she was one of my, fairy godmothers or something. And then here I am now. Then I realised that, you know, it was me.
Yeah.
I was seeing my future self. And funny enough, you know, when I started the inner child work, there I was talking to my inner child, and there's my inner child talking to me. So in a way, it was my future self. I don't know if you can get your head around that, but
Well, no, I did a similar thing recently. I did some inner child work and went back to myself when I was about 4 or 5, and then it was like I'd inserted myself into my own memories.
Yeah.
Because I now remember seeing me.
Yeah. So, you know, it's all multi-dimensionalism, isn't it? There is no time. It's all happening now. And I know in the Oracle deck that I created, this is it here.
Yeah, I've put there's a link on the screen, guys, if you're interested in this Oracle deck. I'll also just pull your website up as well. Because yeah, I need to get one of these, Jasmine.
Yeah, I was gonna send you a deck, but I wasn't sure if that was your right address on the bottom of your emails. You know, the
Well, that's kind of an office address here. I don't
so
I don't want to put my home address on thousands of emails.
But yeah, send me your home address. I'd love to send you one.
Where do I get to the cards on here?
Oh, just go up to the navigator up the top there and click Rainbow Oracle. So I also design decks as well. So I illustrate 4 decks. You know, so I've made decks for others, not just only for myself.
Mm-hmm. I just love these because when I look at these, I'm taken back to ayahuasca journeys immediately.
Right, yeah.
And I was trying to explain this to my kids the other day about the fabric of reality and what it looks like, and it's I get the same images that you do. That's why I resonated with the cards so much.
Right. Now there are actually probably more females in the cards than there are males. I'm not sure why that is. You know, I didn't plan it. Some archetypes presented themselves as males and some as females, but really it doesn't matter. You know, you have to look. You can be. You can get a card that's about the king, so it's about your king energy, whether you're, you know, male or female. So I wanted to actually show you, because I think this is quite relevant now, and that is these two. This is the Atlantean Soul, and where have I gone?
By the way, it's the opposite way. It's a bit confusing.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is the
empath.
Still dyslexic. This is the Lemurian Soul, and they've shown themselves as male and female. And so most of you probably already know that the Atlantean times, that was a male energy. And the reason, the interesting part of the Atlantean soul is they're the disclosure, if you think about it. They're the disclosure. We're at a point in time where we're wanting disclosure, we're wanting truth. So that's why the Atlanteans are here, to expose truth, because they actually help to suppress it. So they're reclaiming now their power and finding their own identity by searching for truth. Yeah. And the Lemurians, they say the Lemurians, yes, that's more of a feminine energy, and that's why that's where we're headed. That's where we're coming back to, that sort of Lemurian age where the Lemurian age is the oneness. The Lemurians hold the key codes of oneness.
Well, yeah, I did. I went dragon riding with Huna Flash last week, which was learning and reciting the Lemurian codes of father, mother, child energies, and then wow, it was unbelievable.
Wow.
I mean, it really was like riding a dragon,
Yeah.
and it unlocked loads of things. And they said that it opened a new portal in me, which was really cool. And I put some of those codes in one of my poems called "There and Back Again." Ha ma ka wa ha ti, and there's some of the codes, and it's real.
Yeah.
These codes are real. They actually do things.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And when I was sort of downloading all the information from the cards, I must say that the artwork actually was channeled by the Rainbow Council, hence the name of the deck, the Rainbow Oracle. Now, I didn't really know anything about the Rainbow Council. Again, they just showed up when I started to create them. But they didn't sort of communicate to me like the Councils of Light through words and thought. They communicated to me through colour and design. And that's why the deck is very vibrant, because they have all the colours of the rainbow that represent unity.
And it's time for us to reclaim the rainbow, because the rainbow has been hijacked by one of the.
It's been hijacked, hasn't it?
But they hijacked everything. They've hijacked rainbows, unicorns. They just want to appropriate it all.
Well, they've hijacked the male, the masculine and feminine, haven't they?
Well, they're trying to,
Yeah.
but we're not going to let it. It's not going to stand.
Yeah. So, okay. So, also the other one is I want to talk about was Lightweaver.
Let me just remove myself.
Okay. So the Lightweaver, I didn't actually. I didn't actually read the affirmations on the cards. But anyway, the Lightweaver, we are. There are about the light beings, and there's many light beings on the planet, as you know, and we are all one of those. But we call ourselves light workers.
Should be light beings.
Yes. Now, the reason light worker, because light worker is the mission we chose. It's not who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is why the light weaver has come in, because this is the next step. This is the fifth dimensional self of the light being, is the light weaver, because we're here to weave a new reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we've been holding the light for everybody, but now it's just about holding the light for ourselves and weaving our magic. That's what all we need to do. So with the Atlanteans, actually, I will just, might be easier if I just read it. It's just easier for me to read because it's channeled, whereas I don't talk and channel, only when I write. I think you channel when you write too, don't you?
I channel all the time.
Your come from, yeah.
I'm always channeling, but because I'm such a buffoon, I didn't realise I was. And then and it's all dawning on me now that I've been doing it for a long time. I mean, I even when I did marketing lectures, I channeled those. I could talk for 10 hours on stage. It's nuts. With no script.
Oh, look, I'm not much of a talker. And, if I had, the only thing that keeps me connected to people is the fact that I do readings. Otherwise, I'd probably be a hermit. So, yes, anyway, here, I'll just read this. So, the Atlantean Soul. Now, the Atlantean Soul brings service to humanity and awareness of our universal identity. Atlantean souls usually have almost a desire to sort of help, but to the point of they feel it's an obligation, because they're coming from a time where they I guess they fell, they destroyed truth in a way, so now they've come in to repair it. So a lot of the Atlanteans are repairing their putting the pieces back together, and this is how the disclosure is coming in as well. So the Atlantean is a universal archetype here to serve in truth. As we transition into the fifth dimension, the great Atlanteans are one of the many way showers leading us to unity. They wear the vibrational crown of truth and are masters in their understanding of crystal healing and advanced frequency technologies. Many of our light workers and energy healers of today are the golden age of Atlantis, here to assist in the Great Awakening. Atlanteans often feel a great responsibility to serve humanity. Their mission is to ascend consciousness by healing and restoring the highest order of truth, unlocking our universal identity. It takes great courage to restore truth. Atlanteans have spent lifetimes on their own healing to see beyond the illusion of fear and control. When the Atlantean soul steps bravely into their own magnificence, they unlock the key to all their hidden treasures, restoring truth and freedom. And that is just about the archetype. Then you've actually got the meaning of the card, which is personal to whoever draws it for that reason. And then I want to tell you quickly about the Lemurian soul, so you can see the difference between the masculine and the feminine energy coming in. Does that make sense to you, Mark?
Yeah. I'm just listening, thinking. I had a reading with Cassandra.
Oh wow! Yes.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah. She's amazing.
Yeah. Well, she said that I was involved with Atlantis, but I wasn't there in human form.
Right. Okay.
And I've been trying to process that for a couple of weeks because that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I've had a few channelings with Cassandra. It always blows me away.
Oh yeah, she told me some crazy stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours long. It was amazing.
Yeah.
For those of you watching, that was with that was with Susan.
Yeah, Susan. Yeah, she's also. The Lemurian Soul, again, that's that one there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Look, so the Lemurians were the first wave of star seeds that arrived from the star system of Sirius. They created heaven on earth, a civilization of oneness and harmony known as Lemuria. So they created the blueprint to the paradise that we live in. That's where we're headed back to, that paradise that we first created.
Good.
These energetic beings designed a blueprint of a harmonious paradise that we are being called to return to, a motherland that holds the frequency of the feminine divine. As we evolve through the masculine energy of Atlantis, we are now returning to the feminine energy of Lemuria, the oneness of God, Goddess, which is why they're trying to topsy-turvy the masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah.
The Lemurian souls of our current time are the peacemakers and earth keepers of the planet, and often feel a need to be near water or nature. I've got water behind me.
Yep.
It's got to be everywhere for me. And I live near the beach. As we evolve through the masculine energy of Atlantis, we are now returning to the feminine energy of Lemuria, the oneness of God, Goddess. The Lemurian souls of our current time are the peacemakers and earth keepers of the planet, and often feel a need to be near water or nature. Like the cetaceans of the sea, the Lemurians have a natural radar for higher frequencies of peace and love. They express the radiance of dolphin energy, often sensitive to sound and how it responds to them vibrationally. They aspire to create harmonious environments and have spent many lifetimes honouring nature with rituals, dance and celebration. Lemurians bring the frequency of unity, and their homes often reflect this, with the aroma of incense and burning candles, a past memory of ritualistic times. They instinctively swim in the ocean to absorb the light codes of Mother Earth and are their best when working with the feminine principles. I've worked all my life with the feminine principles. It's, what I've always done. And when I was a belly dancer, I remember...
You couldn't get more. You can't get more feminine.
Well, I went into belly dancing because I wanted to feel comfortable in my body. I spent so long being out of my body, and I needed to ground and be in my body. So I started belly dancing, and I must say, from the moment I started, I remember walking to the class being quite fearful of, what am I doing? I just had 2 kids, and I wanted to get back into shape. And the moment the music started, I was just gone. I was in another lifetime. I was just gone. And it was a memory. And it was a memory of sacred dance that it almost, I felt the dancing goddess come through me. It was the first time I ever felt the divine feminine, from the swaying of the hips and the undulations. I was orgasmic, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
And I spent many years sitting in women's circles and teaching the dance and getting women to feel comfortable in their bodies. I attracted many women that had been abused for whatever reason. I attracted them in my classes, and they'd always start at the back of the room and they'd be locked in their hips. And as soon as I start to move and got them to sort of free up their energy in their body and their hips, by the end of the course, they were right in front of the class, in the mirror, standing there and enjoying every moment of it. So it was a lovely time, and it was a good time for me too.
Well, the divine feminine is the theme du jour. The dragon riding thing that I did last week, I also had Lucy Davis come over from the UK, and me, Lucy, and David Mahoney went to some sacred sites, and the whole thing was about, we went to the site in Ireland called Ishnok, which is the heart chakra, and it's where the spirit of Eru resides. And this country is named after this spirit, this goddess, and she lives there, and she's not dead. That's where she actually lives. And there's this stone there that we went into, which is between 2 worlds, and it's called the Stone of Separation. And we made a little film about it. It's going to be out this week, actually. But the whole thing was about fertility, and this, I first got my higher self hit me and made me dance. I was in a bar in Marrakesh. It was about 4 years ago, and I was just, I hadn't had that much to drink, but something came inside me and started making me move.
Yeah.
And I was at it for 3 or 4 hours, and everybody else was sat down looking at me going, what's he doing? I was the only one dancing. And I've told this story before, but I thought I'd been possessed by something. And then I went to see this amazing energy healer. He said, no, that was your higher self. And it was like, whoa. And everything changed for me from that moment.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Wow.
I don't know if that was divine feminine or not. It's probably just my higher self, Kundalini energy, but it was, I could feel
maybe you were a belly dancer in your past life.
I think I was. I've always felt very highly connected to belly dancers.
Yeah, you're that shimmying, and
I love a bit of shimmying.
Eh?
I love a bit of shimmying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking as well. Do you remember that song after the first year of this period? There was a song by a couple in Israel, and it was like, "What the fuck is going on here? What the fuck? What the fuck?" I loved it. I put it all over the internet. But the girl in that duo, she's a belly dancer as well, and she's a really world famous belly dancer, and that energy is just wonderful.
Yeah. I was actually quite a high profile belly dancer in the 90s. I danced for princes and princesses. But yes, that's another story. Talking about the divine feminine, I'm actually writing, I guess, a book in a way about my experience with the archetypes and how they healed me, to give you more of an understanding of how you can connect with them. And I wrote about the divine feminine here. I've just found her, so I'll just bring it up. This is my experience with it. So, creating the image of the divine feminine was deeply insightful. And sorry, before I do that, maybe I should show a picture of her. That's the divine feminine.
Lovely.
Okay. So, yes, creating the image of the divine feminine was deeply insightful, even though I had already explored and healed so much of this archetype in myself. When I first saw her in my vision, her eyes were so piercing, I was just mesmerized. The fire in her eyes was like the emerging phoenix from the ashes. The suffering of the feminine was burning in the flames of her eyes like a cleansing or purification. Yet I could feel the sorrow in her heart, the cries of humanity, the suffering of Mother Earth and her children. It was a bittersweet experience, the suffering, the liberation and freedom all at once. And yet, strangely enough, there was a balance to it all, an internal radiance. Once I pulled away from her eyes, I noticed she was wearing loosely draped fabric around her head and shoulders. I felt her say, "I wear the garment of hope. Its fabric is soft, light against my skin. It doesn't restrict me, but moves me with this. The soft power of the feminine. I wear many faces and many garments, for I live and breathe in all men and women. Some have forgotten me, some neglected me, others abused me and crucified me. But I am where all the rivers meet, where all the streams return home. It's where all must look to find themselves that have forgotten part of who they are. This is where harmony begins. Even though I'm simply sharing my experience here, her words are still pouring through me. She resides in the stillness, in the pause of my breath. I can hear her saying, "Don't cry for me, celebrate me. I am hope, I am joy, and I am passion." Embodying the divine feminine is like breathing life back into a tired, restricted body. I can move, flow more freely through life. She taught me to stop the struggle, the fight, and to surrender to the flow. Your feminine power does not push. She invites and draws in what she needs. She is the continuous dance of life. And although I no longer dance for an audience, I still dance for myself. I flow in her ocean of healing and acceptance.
I feel a bit emotional now.
Yeah.
That's no good. I've got to go out for lunch now. I can't be. You've ruined my lunch. That's beautiful. It really is, and I feel it very strongly.
I couldn't fit all that. I couldn't fit all those in the cards. Obviously, it's just a shorter version. But I just wanted to sort of show people, when I was. It's funny, when I was connecting to the energy of these fifth dimensional aspects of ourselves, it would then play out in my life as if to show me how to integrate it. And that's why I thought I'd write the book to share that part of it, because that part of it's not in the actual guidebook. But yeah, that's just, and you'll find it the same when you work with the archetypes or you connect with the energy. It'll just start playing out in your life, so you can see how you're integrating it.
Yeah, I've been. I remember sitting in a cafe in where was it? Place in Switzerland. Wasn't Geneva. Where was it? Anyway, and I sat there and I was watching all these people go past, just people watching, because I love people watching. And suddenly, all I could see was archetypes.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, and I was just watching. I was like, okay, yeah, I recognize that, and it's a great thing when things like that happen, because I have lots of weird experiences like that. But I think this is really important, and it is the time now for integration, because it is becoming a magical time. I'm having a magical life, and beautiful things are happening every day, and I'm becoming more aware of how beautiful these things are, and I'm changing. I can feel the change. You know, I was telling people last week how I went up this mountain that normally exhausts me, but I ran up it and then I ran down it, and then I was like, well, that was easy, and, and I've not been working out that much. You know, it's like, what's going on? You know, there's subtle differences, which is why people need to trust this process,
Yeah.
because I've got trust written on this thing here, and it jangles, and every time it jangles, it's like, trust the universe, trust the plan.
Yeah.
People still freak out about that, don't they? They're still like, trust the bloody plan. Where is things aren't happening fast enough? And it's like, just
Do all that, yes, many times.
chill out. You are an eternal soul. You're the spirit. You know, enjoy the process.
Yeah.
It's like, if I go to the UK from here, I choose most of the time to go on the ferry, which it could take me 20 hours to get somewhere. And people think I'm nuts. They're like, you get in the plane, it's only an hour. And I'm like, I like the journey.
Yeah.
You know, I read a book on the boat. Whatever, you know, it's great.
Yeah.
And I like driving through the land, you know, and seeing stuff. Everybody wants everything like this, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, actually, also what I can talk about is when I was, again, doing the inner child work, I was doing a lot of healing with myself. And when the child in me started to become, I guess, more loved, she felt more loved. She started to sort of open up more and more. And that's when the higher self came through. And I've actually found the notes from back in the year 2000 when my higher self came through. So I'll just read a little bit of how it transpired. And so I asked the question, you know, who is this? Because obviously it didn't sound like the inner child anymore. There was too much wisdom coming and inspiration coming out.
Yeah.
And she says, I am your higher self, your inner self. I am the spirit and the essence of who you are. I am the inner child, the higher self, the master teacher, the wise old man, and the multidimensional soul. I am a diamond within the many facets of colour that change with the movement and angles of my design. I am more than you can comprehend in this physical world. I have no beginning and no end, for I am eternal life, forever expanding through the eons of time. Each life I have experienced is another reflection of colour in the diamond of my soul. I celebrate our journey, yet you do not trust yours. I can show you what you are capable of. I can give you encouragement. I can inspire you to take hold of your power and embrace the unique and wonderful being that you are. But I cannot make you believe in yourself. I cannot make you believe in your worth. Only you can do that. To enter into higher consciousness, you need to be aware of your own light. Forgive yourself of these things, and you may enter. Do you realize that forgiveness is light waiting to be embraced? Don't deny it. Rejoice in who you are. We are all light with many colors to explore. Search for the highest and brightest light that reflects all that you are. There's more to you than you can imagine. I am proof of that. But who do you speak with if it's not a part of yourself? Even God is you. Everything is you. Do you sense the shift that has been made here? Now, each of your individual existences are made of many angles within the diamond of your soul. Which angle you choose to exist within is your choice. You may only choose to see one small section of that diamond and create your world around that angle, conforming to only what you can see. But as you become more multidimensional, you realize there are many angles within the diamond, and their change in shape and size, reflecting a multitude of color. I come in many names, for I am many faces, but I have no permanent face, for I am the essence of God, for I am God in essence. I believe in you, for you are my creation. It's your own doubts that you have difficulty with. I believe in you. Not all things can be explained or validated, but that is not for you to analyze, but just to simply trust. You already know everything, for it's all within you. I put it there. You don't need to be for me to announce your next step. You are already one with your many gods of wisdom. And when I say that, I've referred to the many colors of wisdom that you have gained through your growth. I'm talking about all your multidimensional selves. Your soul has all the answers, but it's contained within the shell of the physical, which dulls its expression. But it's all there, trust me.
You're making me cry again. Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is all there.
And talking about shifts, you know, when you're working with the, I guess, the vibration of the archetypes, you cannot have a vibrational change. You just cannot. You have to have a vibrational change when you work with them. And that's what happened to me. I mean, when I started to create the deck, I was living in a shed. I was living in a shed. I'd hit rock bottom.
So belly dancing didn't pay too well.
Oh, I was like this, you know, and I'd just come out of a really bad breakup, and I was sort of healing. So a friend of mine had a garage that she converted into a studio. That was a beautiful place. It wasn't sort of dingy old shed. It was quite lovely. And so I took my time to sort of heal there. And that's when I decided to create the deck as well, because I thought it might be good sort of therapy for me. But I didn't know what it was going to do. And I found that by working through all the energies of those archetypes and integrating it into my consciousness, I made a huge shift. And just to let you in on a little secret, there's a archetype in there. I don't know if I can find him. He's called the creative engineer. And when I created, oh, here he is, another sort of good-looking guy.
Yeah. That looks like a photo.
When I was creating him, I just had this knowing that the creative engineer would be a good match for me. I didn't know why, and I just knew that I would meet a representation of him. And by the end of the deck, after I'd created it, he showed up.
Well, did he just turn up at the front door?
Not exactly. But he showed up. He was an architect and builder, which is the creative engineer. And so I went from living in a shed to living in a beautiful beach house. So a nice happy ending.
I love a happy ending.
Can work for you.
Of course it can. I've been telling people this for years. You know, your vibe attracts your tribe. You create the world that you live in. You know, and a lot of people watching this will have been through similar situation to you. I lost everything. It was a long, dark tea time of the soul. It was hell. It was horrible. It was really fucking horrible. It was like being in Groundhog Day. And I wanted to die for the first time in my life. I wanted to die. And then I was like, hang on a minute. And that's when that's when everything changed for me. And I'm actually really grateful for that experience, looking back on it. And
Yeah.
forgiveness is it. Well, that was beautiful what you said. Forgiveness is actually the light waiting to be found. Is that what you said?
Forgiveness is the light waiting to be embraced.
That's it. And it is. And you know, I did an ayahuasca journey once, and there was a painting on the wall. Anybody that has done ayahuasca knows that there's artwork that comes with it, because that's channeled to some of the people. The grandmother gives these skills to people, and they do these paintings to help other people with healing. And I was stood there just like dancing for 3 hours, and it was just forgiveness. It was like this 4-5D. It was impossible to explain, but it was all about forgiveness. And I'd just been through some really tough times, and I was like, forgiveness. And I realized afterwards that the reason why it took 3 hours to go through that is because it wasn't talking to me, it was talking to my higher self, and it was waiting for my higher self to integrate it and fully understand what it meant. And then 4 years later, I'm still doing it. I'm still practicing forgiveness for myself, for other people in my life, that I used to be cross with. Now I've forgiven them. And it's a very releasing thing. It's the most important thing we should all be doing right now.
Yeah. It's the first step to change, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually, I was just trying to find it, and would you believe I can't find it? There's a card called Falling Awake, and it's all about forgiveness, really. And, it's like getting thrown off a cliff, whether you were pushed or whether you jumped willingly, you're in the fall. And, funny enough, the soul embraces the fall, but the emotional body doesn't like it because it knows it's going to hurt. But
that's exactly what I'm like, this is really annoying, when these things come. I just get really annoyed because I'm like, do I have to go through this again?
Yeah. And I've been through it many times. I thought, how many times do I have to jump off that flipping cliff? But in the fall, we kind of lose whatever we've identified ourselves through. Yeah. So it can be a time of completely losing ourselves. It's quite, common. That's how we fall. But I like to call it falling awake, because in the fall, we find ourselves. We find a better version of ourselves. We get to create a better version of ourselves, something that's more authentic to who we are now, not who we were then.
Yeah, like Bruce Wayne's a Batman in the Batman film. Why do we fall? Why do we fall? So we learn how to get up. And I think it was either Rocky or Plato that said, "I don't know how many times you get hit, it's how many times you get up off the floor." So it's all in the wisdom's all in the shit movies.
Yeah.
Jasmine, I'm gonna have to call it quits. Because it's time for me to go. I'm gonna go and have a look at this premises that I'm thinking of opening a healing center. So there's a few people waiting for me. So
well, thank you so much, Mark, for having me. It's been wonderful, and I will send you a deck. Just give me your address.
Yeah, I'll email you. You guys are asking in the chat about how to contact me. If you're on my email list, you have my email address. Email me. That's how you do it. It's easy. And the link's in the description. Thank you for sharing all that beautiful stuff. It was really, my pleasure. And I'm going to watch this back later, because I was having to run the show whilst listening to you. So the comments are amazing. Guys, go to the website jasminesafi.com and support Jasmine's work, because it's fantastic. You ship them all over the world, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I must say though, I didn't order a lot, but they're not, mass produced. It's just a limited edition. But I will order more. Yeah, if they sell well.
Well, I think you're going to sell out, and if that's the case, guys, be patient with postage from Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I know. Postage from Australia is very strange. But it's lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us. And Thanks everybody for joining me on a Monday morning. It's Monday morning in the UK, in Ireland, in the UK. I know it's evening where you are, but I call it Monday morning.
It's 1 o'clock where I am.
Brilliant. It was lovely to see you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. I've got a busy week on the show. Take care. Bye-bye.